Now, the P system, or sometimes Peel, where they add Lincoln at the end. This is something that's taught very often in English schools, and you may have seen it in your own school as well. It's just a way of structuring any essay argument that you make, any paragraph that you make in your essay. It's very simplistic, and I wouldn't recommend following it rigidly unless this is just a way that you write anyway. But it does make the key points that you should really be doing. So point, so this is where you introduce your argument, e.g. the writer uses X, Y, Z. Evidence, for example, X, Y, Z. Explanation, this shows X, Y, Z. Now, this is another way in some ways of saying what I've said with the analysis and evaluation, but it's just a helpful thing to remember. These are things that you want to be doing. Whether take it freely in your own way. You don't have to put the point first, for example. But as long as you evidence points and explain your points, it can be a helpful way of doing things. So I just put this here in case you find it helpful, certainly. But if you apply this to the students thing here, well, then they've kind of done it in the sense that they've begun with a point, however, it's someone else's point, and used examples. However, they've actually introduced their own point at the very end of the paragraph, and they will do explanations and evaluations later on in the context of the essay. However, just remember, these are things that you want to be doing. Just do it in your own style, do it the way you'd like to. Now, that takes us to the question at hand, which is, I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. What could the speaker mean by spiritual? And in this section, we're just going to go through the keywords again and remind ourselves what we could do with them in the context of our essay, assuming that we're going to be very fleet of foot in the way that we write. So, I'm not religious. So, first keyword I picked out here is religious. Now, there's so many ways that you can go around answering this essay, but depending on how you define religion, will depend on which of those ways you take. So, are you a Hindu? Are you a Christian? Are you a Jew? All of these things will lead you to have a different answer. So, acknowledging that at least will be a useful thing to do in the context of your essay. Not religious. So if you're not religious, does that necessarily mean that you're going to become spiritual? Is it necessary that if you're spiritual, you are not religious? That's probably the more apposite argument or question to ask.